Next is Azure IoT. So this is our main focus, Azure IoT. It is the software as a service platform provided by the Microsoft. And sometimes, let's say we are making IoT devices and we are not ready to make such kind of platform to handle the IoT devices. We are not ready to make our custom security services, our custom cloud infrastructure to handle such kind of data. So we can use directly some of the services provided from the service provider, and Azure IoT is one of them. So it is a software as a service solution. Azure IoT is a cloud platform by Microsoft that enables the connection, monitoring, and management of the IoT devices and data. We will see these things in later slides in detail, like how we can monitor and manage the IoT devices and data. But for now, it is a simple terms understand. It is used to monitor and management of the IoT devices and data. What it can give you, we will discuss in different slides, like how many service Azure IoT provide us to manage our IoT solutions. But before that, let's understand SaaS. It is a software as a service, is a software distribution model in which the application are hosted by the service provider and available customer over the internet. This model eliminates the need for the user to install, maintain, manage software, providing ease of the access and scalability. So when we need some kind of software, we have to install that software in our system, and it is particularly for our system, we have to install some required drivers and other required things. But that is the basic software. Software as a service is a kind of software that we can use directly from the internet, from our browser, and we can use those software and services without installing other things, right? So it is a software that is hosted on a cloud or internet. Now, IoT service by the Azure IoT. So Azure IoT offer a different and wide range of IoT services for us. It is designed to enable the development, deployment, and management of IoT solutions. We will discuss those services one by one, but for today's session, we will discuss those services in short, and in our next sessions, we will discuss some important services provided by the Azure IoT in detail, and we will also do some practicals, hands-on practicals, so that we can understand that in more deep way. Our first service is it is a Azure IoT Hub. जैसा कि इसका नाम से लगता है, it's the hub. Hub that means it is a centralized system to manage all the communication between the IoT devices and IoT applications. When we are going to use a large number of IoT devices, then we will use IoT Hub to manage the communication, or we can say it is as a middleware layer for our IoT and web application or app application. So let's say जैसा कि हमने एग्जांपल लिया था स्मार्ट एनर्जी मीटर का, तो उस केस में हमारे पास जो डिवाइसेस होंगे डेफिनेटली वो बहुत ज़्यादा वॉल्यूम में होंगे. उस केस में हम IoT हब का यूज कर सकते हैं क्योंकि इट इज़ अ वेरी एफिशिएंट सिस्टम and it can handle the very large amount of the data, large amount of the device. We can manage the device like OTA of the device and device provisioning. So it provides different kinds of features. We will discuss IoT Hub in later session in details. Next is IoT Central. So it is a mostly same like IoT Hub, but it is particularly software as a service through which we can make our custom applications on this software. Like we can make our applications through the component or widgets through which that application we can control our IoT devices from the IoT Central. We can monitor our IoT devices from the IoT Central. We do not have to make our own IoT applications from the scratch. We can directly use the predefines components of IoT Central to make a simple application to manage the IoT devices. It is said that mainly IoT Central is used for limited IoT devices. IoT Hub is used for the mainly for the uh, many n number of devices. Next is the Azure Digital Twins. It is kind of functional. We can say in our basic language कि जब हम एक IoT डिवाइसेस बनाते हैं हम उसका एक वर्चुअल मॉडल बनाते हैं कि जहाँ से सेम काइंड ऑफ इन्वायरमेंट क्रिएट करते हैं हम अपने IoT डिवाइसेस के लिए कि जैसे हम उसको किस तरह से टच करते हैं कि हम किस तरह से उसको क्लिक करते हैं पुश करते हैं उसका टेम्परेचर कैसा है उसके आसपास का टेम्परेचर कैसा है किस तरह से वो मूव करता है सो वी हैव टू क्रिएट such kind of environment so that we can visualize that real thing in a virtual form. There is one example of a rocket that is in a real space and a virtual space where we can experience the things that is going on with the rocket with our virtual rocket. What is happening? What is the temperature on the rocket? What is the temperature inside the rocket? What is the speed of it? So there is a we can say there are twin of real object. That's why we called it Azure Digital Twins. It is a platform that enables the creation of a comprehensive digital model of the entire environment, providing insight into the relationship and interaction between the people, place, and devices. So we can create the digital twins of IoT devices. We can create the digital twins of places, even humans. Next is the Azure Sphere, a security platform for creating connected devices, ensuring end-to-end security from hardware to cloud. As we discussed in our IoT challenges, that IoT security is a must for the first priority of IoT devices. So to ensure that our communication between the devices applications is secured, Azure IoT provide this service Azure Sphere to secure the communication between the device and application. Next is the Azure IoT Edge. As already discussed, what is IoT Edge? Azure provides some services to manage the edge devices, a service that extends the cloud intelligence analytics edge device, enabling data processing and analysis closer to the source. So we can make that model or that processing functions and at our cloud side, and then we can deploy the same thing from cloud to edge devices. So Azure IoT Edge provide those capability to manage the edge devices and to device provisioning and to deployment of the firmware and the services those are running on the cloud so that those same services we can run on the edge devices. Next is the Azure IoT series. It is the end-to-end fully managed analytics, storage, and visualization service that make it easy to explore, analyze time series data from the IoT devices. You can see there are many graphs. So it is particularly provide us insights and graphs from our raw data. We can find the useful message from the raw data. And when we are processing IoT data and we apply some machine learning model, uh, many machine learning models give us insight about the data because that raw data, it is very difficult or next to impossible to understand what is meaning of those raw data. That's why we convert those raw data into insights, into a visualization form. So Azure IoT series Insight give us that capability so that we can make graph from the raw data, which is a time-based data. Let's say there is a machines in our industries which are pushing data continuously within a 10-second or 20-second, 5 second. So it is a time-based data that is continuously pushing from the machine to cloud. So we can make a graph to monitor those data, and we can find some useful information from like error or alerts, this kind of useful information from the raw data. Next is Azure Map. It's a geospatial service to provide a location-based insight and 3D mapping capability into IoT. So there is a very common example for it is the GPS tracking device. Right now, there are many GPS tracking devices in our cars, in our bikes, or in our school bus, colleges bus. So it is a Azure IoT map provide us some level of some services to manage that GPS tracking devices so that we can track our object or our vehicle through the Azure map. So it is dedicatedly to tracking the devices on the map. Next is the Azure Security Central for IoT. We just discussed little bit security Azure IoT in our previous point, but that was only for the communication between the communication. But Azure IoT Security Center for IoT, it is a service which is dedicatedly provide us to secure our overall the IoT system. Like it is save the IoT devices from the viruses, right? It is a security solution to monitor and enhance the security posture of IoT solutions, providing threat protection across the all IoT assets. It provides us the security from our application to our server to from our and our IoT devices, so that nobody can hack those devices or application. So this is the end for the session. If you have any kinds of doubts regarding the session, regarding the IoT, if you want to ask something, you can ask. And let me tell you a little bit about the social things. This is my YouTube channel. You can subscribe where you can find some clips about my work. And you can also follow me on LinkedIn where I share articles on the IoT and industrial automation about every day, a single article. So those can also helpful to learn the IoT and getting updated in the sector of IoT. And for the more information, you can also visit automation.in website, where also I publish articles, and you can find some of solutions which I made on embedded system and IoT for the users. So there are some of products based on the IoT. You can check that, you can study them. So this is the all for today. We will discuss about the Azure IoT Hub. We will create our account in tomorrow session, and